Holy God, welcome into a nasty show here on the Blockchain Basement. We got the charts on fire right now. Bitcoin pulling back, but Ethereum giving us an incredible signal, leading us into what looks like a absolutely awesome alt season. Shout out to everyone that's holding bags into what we're looking at right now. We got the U.S. government going all in on Bitcoin and crypto. The markets flushed this morning, but JP Morgan came out bullish on crypto, psyoped the entire country. Now they're leaning into it. And we also have a bunch of United States here in the U.S. that are ready to tokenize billions of dollars in assets on chain. Hopefully your bags are packed for this. We're going to deep dive into all the top altcoin ecosystems to watch, some new developments coming for the Avalanche ecosystem as well, and major moves coming to tokenized markets here. So shout out to everyone in the chat here. We got Moby Rick, Wispy, Papa Guth, Nate 707, Nicole Minestata, good to see you. Deadwood, my man, World War, Daniel Spath. I know, that's the seven. We're crashing down to 115 or 114,000. Oh my God, it's over with. Well, is it really over with? We got to calm down, folks. You know, sometimes you just got to sit back and relax. And I think that this is needed right now. We're going to take a listen here. Just a little calming moment.
I need somebody to hear you, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you know to the pain. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all.
You know, Microwave Mac Damon is not that bad, folks. We got a incredible singer here. This guy's got some pipes on him. I got a special guest here that also plays the piano. Matty B, is this what happens when you leave Matt Damon in the microwave for a minute too long? What do you think?
Holy smokes, he looks like he's had a little bit too much of that testosterone therapy.
You know, oh, Small Soldiers is what comes to mind here. Hold on. Well, this is a Small Soldiers character. I swear to God, I've seen this guy before. This is him right there. That's him right there. So we got a lot of movement on the charts, Matty B. We got a lot of movement on the charts going on. We are just above the CME gap, and you know, we barely tapped onto the top of it. We hit about $115,700 this morning. Obviously we're getting some very interesting signals coming from the alt sector, but I love your work on Bitcoin first and foremost, man. And I wanted to get kind of your opinion on where things are going from here. We're seeming to flush down very close to that CME gap I just showed. We have the government coming out bullishly this week, a lot of economic data coming out, but what are you seeing on the charts?
Well, I mean, people are panicking because we've seen this epic dump down to the 50% fib. Now, to put things into perspective, and I know we lose sight of in these large numbers of what we're actually dealing with here, this is a almost 5% dump, which is nothing. Now, you talked about that CME gap. It's at 115.5, which is also this 61.8% fib. So the fibs are matching up nicely, which makes me think that we are just in a normal functioning market outside of fundamentals, right? So the price is just going to be botted back and forth around on these Fibonacci's. I was hoping that we'd get the bounce from 38.2%, because usually a 38.2% bounce will see the initial, so like this this pump up here, if we were to see a bounce at the 38.2%, we would essentially see the price action recreate that next little pump. Now, I guess I would be looking at this 61.8% fib to hold. And, you know, there's this little wick here. You can barely
Is that
see
sitting
it.
Right at about 115K is what it looks like?
Yeah, it's a, well, that's a, it's like wick down to 115.7 or something. So I'm pretty sure we can go and say we closed it. I mean, you don't want to get too specific. It's got to hit that numeral, right? I don't know about that. But, you know, today on my stream, I did a little bit of a historic gumshoeing. You know, essentially, even though there was there was like a massive pump and a 5% dump, there's really nothing going on outside of, you know, just the market moving in these large numbers. But there was an interesting thing that I saw, which changed my bull run target. And now I know, you know, people love/hate bull run targets, and I'm a round tripper. So I wouldn't say take what I'm about to say and sell at this number, because I'm not. I'm a round tripper. That being said, if we go back to the weekly so we're in the summer bummer, right? Which historically, outside of a bull run, we do nothing. Can you remember last year we went from like April to God, how long were we in the summer bummer for? It just seemed like forever, and we just slowly went down. Now, summer bummer in a bull run is slightly augmented. So we go back to 2021 here, and this is the sell in May and walk away area, which would have been not bad, right? You would have, if you sold in May, walked away, and forgot about it for 4 years, you'd probably be pretty happy, right? But so this is what happens once we hit the end of July, which is arguably around now, maybe 10 days from now, we had a 60% pump. 60% pump doesn't look like 60% pump, but I assure you, Drew, it is. Then we had a 38.2% dump down. So we corrected 15%. You can see that little 15% here. And then from that, we got the bounce of 38.2%. What does a bounce from 38.2% usually do? It usually recreates the original pump. And that's exactly what we did. We got another 60% pump. Now, if we want to extrapolate that out into a fractal for this bull run now, this summer bummer bull run, let's close this down here. You can see how messy these charts get when you just constantly
go cubic hairs. What's on the chart there? Unbelievable. This looks like a bunch of squiggly.
I have the most underrated doodle game on YouTube. But so this is what we're seeing here. This is where we are currently right now. And the exact timing, like I'm talking, 10 days from now, if this 143, bearing in mind, okay, keep that, this is this inverted head and shoulder play out, right? So, to just, you take the pull, you slide it all to the breakout point, and we're at 143K. So that's basically a pit stop based on the fractal. So if we were to see a 60% pump from here, we would hit 183. Now, how great is that, right?
I mean, that makes me real happy. I don't think that's a top in my heart of hearts. You think that's going to be the top?
No, because what's going to happen, well, who knows what's going to happen, but if we follow the same fractal as the 2021 summer bummer run, the last run before we drifted into the winter, we would hit the 60%. We would pull back to the 38.2% fib, which is, what is this? 155. I don't need a dictionary. Come on. 155, thus recreating the probability of the same potential, which is 60%. Now, 60% from 155, I don't need a dictionary. It takes us to Piano Matty B's new bull run target of 230.
Up in that target to 230, man. I absolutely love it.
Not financial advice, just what we've done in the past.
Oh my gosh, man. I mean, that's getting me real bullish here. I mean, and you do great work on generalized long-term Bitcoin price action. Very, very interesting to see those targets come out. And we are seeing, Benjamin Cowan, he put up an interesting chart. I guess we can check out together here. It's the market cycle ROI chart. And this is just overlapping a bunch of different bull markets. You have the OG, kind of first explosion, very violent to the upside, the secondary, and the slight diminishment on the velocity to the upside as you get from cycle to cycle to cycle. Now, where we're showing right here in the purple line is essentially, our market cycle bottom return on investment kind of metric. Matty B, is it the fact that our market cap is just within the multiple trillions of dollars only, or is it also that now institutions are kind of involved and kind of tampering and doing this slow grind up, in your opinion?
Well, it's tough because it's when we get to this point in the bull run, we think that things are different and we're going to go to the absolute moon, right? And we start the narratives of, well, this cycle's different, and we're never going to have a bear market again, and if we do, it's going to be a diminished bear market. Now, if we want to go down that route, I think something that backs it up is the fact that we haven't seen a retail blow off top.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
It's really retail that have designed the 4-year cycle, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of this is the top, and then exit liquidity gets left in round trips, right? But when you take into consideration the appetite and behavior of these institutions, they're not like retail of yesteryear, right? They're coming in for a low time horizon, like most sophisticated investors do. Now, that's what we say to prop up our own belief that we won't see another crypto winter, and if we do, it'll be much more diminished. So maybe it's just a bunch of cope from YouTube creators.
Well, there's cope and data, though. I mean, the short-term holder cost basis. Now we have an immense amount of short-term holders that got into Bitcoin above $100,000. And this unit bias that I guess retail has about Bitcoin's now 100K, so I can't buy a whole one.
Right.
The higher and more solidified Bitcoin goes, the more comfortable these institutions like we're talking about are with holding an asset class that's now in the multiple trillions of dollars market cap asset class, right? So it's kind of a compounding situation that we're seeing right now, and very, very bullish in my opinion to see a bunch of short-term holders being in just above 100K. Also, have you messed with this? This is just a sidebar. So have you seen the Grok AI companion thing? Because I know you're using Grok AI for your shows. Last time I was on, have you seen the new app rollout?
Like Grok 4 or?
Yeah, well, it's Grok 4 and it's in an app, and basically the same day that Elon announced government defense deals, he announced this is his AI chatbot. So this is literally the Grok AI chatbot. The world is getting real weird here.
Sure
just a sidebar, because I know you're using Grok real heavily. And I use it, day to day for data aggregation as well. We're seeing a lot of hope, though. I mean, I'm really excited to see your prediction. Your predictions actually are lining up a lot with TJ's predictions.
What's your prediction?
I was looking at like 170 to 200. Honestly, from what, as I think Jay said in the chat there, it's like from what we just saw on Bitcoin exploding up to $123,000. I think that we have more than enough velocity to do so. Just my metrics here, I'll kind of go over them and kind of compare notes here. So a lot of my trading happens off of these momentum waves moving to the downside. I get a trigger wave with the internal momentum, this yellow clipping to the upside as we're in a downward momentum move. The money, so essentially I've been trading very heavily out of each one of these green dots. These are on the weekly. This is 190% move for Bitcoin when we're at, I think we're like 27 right around there, and we pumped by 190%. So we started getting these exit signals. We were at 57,000 right here. We pumped on up to that inauguration day 109K realm. And then this green dot was just printed at 85K. If we complete this in a diminished fashion in comparison to the last signal we got, that's 60%, bringing us to 140K. If we hit that 90% realm, that's 100, 180, up to 190K. But honestly, man, like with what we're seeing, I think we're seeing some interesting predictions by people at the top that really, really make me think about it. It's Bernstein analysis. They came out and said that they expect a long and exhausting crypto bull market extending into 2026, driven by this institutional adoption and maintaining their $200,000 Bitcoin target by early 2026. So the long, exhausting grind that they're talking about, I think, makes a lot of contextual sense when I look at these stair-step motions that Bitcoin's been having. This is a long, extended grind at previous all-time highs right here that shook a lot of people out.
Yeah.
We had the tariff war kickoff right here. Again, shook a lot of people out. They were thinking that's the top. That's it. But this just looks like institutions are now in control and building stair steps to financial heaven for us. If you're positioned ahead of this is how I'm feeling. It's interesting to see the acknowledgement from larger, kind of hedge funds on the long-term FOMO interest of Bitcoin. And it is happening this week. We have crypto week going on right now. Trump was talking about the House is soon to vote on this bill to make America a #1 leader in digital assets. Of course, he tweets this out. He starts talking about it and we dump a little bit. We're having that little bit of a haircut.
Yeah.
But I think DCA and Praise got some interesting words that I really resonate with, because institutions, maybe they're saying, oh yeah, come on in, no problem, expecting a bunch of retail to phone in. Retail has like $400 or $500 in their bank account for emergencies, if that. They don't really have a bunch of juice that they can squeeze out of retail right now. Retail's broke. I mean, some macro, statistics on it are pending home sales in the US are an absolute free fall right now. So our home sales sector in the US, which is a $120 trillion sector, is losing steam. And now we have the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, already talking about being ready to replace Powell, already working on finding that replacement for Powell. It's a whole pile of data coming at people. It's almost like this controlled collapse up with the retail left on the outside looking in. So DCA and Praise got some interesting words. Where are they?
I heard that Janet Yellen might be a. Have you heard that she might?
Oh,
be the
dude,
chair?
don't say that.
Well, here's
don't
the
say
upside.
that.
Here's my theory on it. They just want to stick a Biden-esque, like senior geriatric dummy who doesn't even know, like, what am I doing here? This is what you're doing, Janet. You're going to lower the interest rates, darling. She's like, okay.
My God. Come on, Grandma, just lower the interest rates. Don't talk about it. Rich heard that too. Oh my God. Hey, Warpaint, shout out to you, man, for dropping the memberships. Appreciate you very, very much. There's a lot of stuff to be thinking about, though. A lot of moving parts. I mean, obviously, Bitcoin's graph up and to the right. That's great. There's a lot of inner workings. And then we see this from JP Morgan, psyoping America. CEO Jamie Dimon says that the company is now going to get involved into crypto stablecoins themselves. This is on top of, JP Morgan developing their own blockchain called Onyx, doing test transactions with Chainlink and Ondo a few weeks back. Things are getting pretty interesting on that side. And, it's great to have regulatory clarity, but I've just re-emphasized to cold custody your crypto. When I'm reading this, the Fed, FDIC, and OCC all issued guidance allowing banks to custody your crypto, stressing strict risk management and full liability if they hold customer keys. For the love of God, do not let a bank hold your crypto key.
Hey, people are going to, though.
That's the sad reality, isn't it? That's the sad reality. And so I do acknowledge, maybe people aren't as crypto savvy. They don't understand, cold storage device. We got a sponsor, Arculus. It's a simple thing, a cold storage device, and you use it in tandem with face identification in your phone. But for the people on the outside that are now, going to become crypto curious over the next few years, is it something you'd recommend to let a bank just hold on to it for them so they don't lose their keys and kind of just trust the bank to do it?
Hell no. Don't trust the bank to do anything. First off, everything in the bank is no longer yours by decree of their laws. So if you stick any money into a bank, it says right there when you click on the agree that it is now their money. You get the beneficial exposure to it, but just nothing will change when it comes to Bitcoin. As soon as you hand it over, basically they own it until you take it out. But this is part of the adoption curve is different. So when you go back into when we were getting into it, we're talking about the adoption curve means meeting someone at a shopping mall parking lot, giving them cash and getting a piece of paper that says you own this little code. Right. So we've progressed, you might say, into actual banks having it and holding it for you. But that's not, the ethos of Bitcoin. But it takes a while to get there. You just don't start there. You really got to learn the hard way.
Well, and I think me and you are kind of hopeful for romantics when it comes to liberty and self-sovereignty, and I say that because we often times find ourselves the odd man's out. Like right now in this political climate, I mean, me and you, both of our channels, we experienced the clampdown. Like we had a 6 months time frame during like the end of the election where we could just say whatever. The algorithm was pushing us. It was a great time had by all. Now the powers that be are in control again. Back to shadow banning and stuff like that. Back to the nether realm we go. We was kind of talking about it on your show with you about it. It really kind of struck me that I mean, god dang it, Matty B's right. We are back in that season where the teeth are coming back on us. So it's crazy times. Crazy
clamped
times.
down on a ivermectin fenbendazole little AI video I did a couple days ago, and it's limited visibility and demonetized.
Of course, right? I mean, we just saw.
Was clear though,
dude. It's so. And shout out to Byron Hardy. God dang, dropping 10 memberships. Holy God! Got Overthinker, Shelby picking one up. Goody Wild. Appreciate you, man. Very cool. Well, the censors, they haven't gone anywhere. They've just tried to act like everything was okay for a bit, but we're back out there. Matty B, I'm loving your outlook for Bitcoin. I think that this is a time frame where the holders are going to win. If we overtrade, we're going to get wrecked. So I'm being careful about trading right now in this volatility. Got to be careful out there. But let everyone know where they can catch your shows. And hopefully I can hop on with your show on Friday. And I'm going to try to actually be in the office and not on my phone in the car driving around the woods of Georgia. But where can people catch you at?
Well, I think that's a head nod to how far technology has gone, that we can actually do a live stream while you're in a car driving. That's just absolutely fascinating. Every morning at 8 o'clock Central Mountain Time, which would be 9 o'clock on the East Coast, I do the live stream. We just do a bunch of technical analysis, and then I go into large off-topic rants, and then I close it up at 8:30. Yeah.
Well, and you go the places that, I mean, I have a whole, setup of my own words I can use to try to get around the algorithmic censorship robots. But me and Matty B, we're kind of cut from the same cloth. We just say it as it is. We get in trouble quite often with YouTube for saying so. It is what it is, man. But I really appreciate you coming on, man. And I'll hop on your show 9 a.m. Eastern on Friday. Make sure you catch that one. Matty B, find him on YouTube, find him on Twitter. He's absolutely awesome. I appreciate you for coming on the show,
Thanks
brother.
Thanks for having me. Have
absolutely,
a good day,
man.
everybody.
Yeah. Man, I love that guy. Matty B dropping the upgraded Bitcoin price prediction, man. Holy cow. 230K does not sound too bad to me. How about you in the chat? What would you be doing? What would you be moving into if you saw Bitcoin hit $230,000? Absolutely wild to think about. Now, we have major news all over the place. This broke. We posted this out of Discover Crypto. Only 3 crypto exchanges hold more than 150,000 Bitcoin as things sit right now. The supply squeeze is heating up, folks. Let's have a listen.
Say we could be on track for 130,000 plus by August or September. Is that realistic?
It is realistic, just simply from a statistical point of view, because we just had a short-term model breakout literally like 10 days ago, and historically Bitcoin actually rallied by 20%. So that would bring us actually to 133,000. But an interesting aspect that you mentioned earlier is really that the retail investors are not really participating. For them, maybe one Bitcoin seems to be too expensive. But on the other side, we have, of course, a lot of corporates, a lot of institutional investors buying. And the Bitcoin ETFs, they have bought $15 billion over the last 6 to 8 weeks. And I think the most interesting aspect is actually that only 3 crypto exchanges have more than 150,000 BTC left. So there has been a lot of Bitcoins leaving exchanges. There's not a lot of Bitcoins left on exchanges. And I think that's why a lot of people are scrambling to really get their hands on Bitcoin, because again, there are not many Bitcoins left right now.
Wall Street is scrambling, man. Scramble away, folks. We have been positioned in crypto ahead of this massive surge. If you've been following the blockchain basement, if you've been following Discover Crypto, I know your bags are packed. It's about being based enough to take those profits when we see them really start to heat frothy levels. Speaking of froth, Speaking of exciting, check out Ethereum right now. Massive, massive velocity back on up to this local range high here at about $3,060. Ethereum looking much, much more aggressive than Bitcoin. Check out this comparison. This is the Bitcoin comparison of price action right now. Bitcoin looking limp dick. Ethereum looking thick with it. Absolutely crazy. And where is Bitcoin dominance as this is happening? Bitcoin dominance is coming down, folks. We have now fell down from this Pico top in the local area by over 3%. Can you imagine what our altcoin are going to look like when we actually get that real flush out of Bitcoin dominance and end up heading down to where I think we're going? I think we're going to 50%. I think we're going to 50% on Bitcoin dominance, and those altcoins, this sea of internet funny money is going to be dark, dark green. I am so excited for it. And it's nice to see Tau showing green. We got Bonk up, Say up, Sui up, Hype, a bunch of alts, and then Ethereum up 1.1%, while Bitcoin is down nearly 2%. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So we're seeing this happen live. We're going to be checking out a lot of Ethereum and altcoin news that we have right now because I know that there's a lot of excitement. There's been a nice run, 20, 30% gains on the week or month for a lot of these different altcoins that we hold, that we've been looking into. Things are looking very, very good. So now, and this is so crazy, just again on the Grok thing, I don't know. This is so crazy. The Department of Defense will now officially begin using Grok, the company announced. So the Department of Defense is literally going to be using Grok. The department has also awarded Musk, the company, a ceiling of $200 million. So the government is integrating with literally this Wafu character. The timeline couldn't get any weird, but a timeline that's getting weird in a good way that I'm liking seeing is Ethereum to Bitcoin pumping on BTC pullbacks. Exactly what we want to see. Here's Rendoshi Nakamondo. Market is preparing for phase 2, the Ethereum pump. After that, be prepared for a Solana run. A nice rollout of how the altcoin sector is designed right now. We had Bitcoin flow into Wall Street. Now it's flowing into ETH, it looks like. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised by a Solana run to be followed after the ETH explosion. ETH is looking absolutely awesome. I know some members in our trading Discord decided to take a long right at around $3,000 flat, absolutely printed off of that. Absolutely fantastic work, you guys. Huge, huge shout out to the trading group in our Discord. The link is in our description. You can sign up with LBank, Blowfin, get in there for absolutely free. And this is where I'm going to be moving and pivoting a lot of the live streams to over the course of the next week or two here. So make sure that you become part of that Discord. And I'm going to get a couple other OG members entry points. Send me a message. I'm going through all those messages today at the end of my workout here to get everyone in on the Discord so you don't miss the live streams. I'm still going to be doing a lot of focused content and write-ups on really specific ecosystems, specific types of projects that people are holding to see if there's any juice still left in those projects for them. So now what we see is Ethereum's got some juice. Ethereum got that juice. We got Ethereum ETFs from BlackRock, bought up 50,000 Ethereum worth $150 million. This was yesterday. We were seeing massive, massive inflows and in a pickup of velocity of Wall Street's interest for Ethereum. This is all in front of that staking theory that I've had for you guys, where it's when staking becomes widely available on Wall Street, they're going to take advantage of it. This is what I see coming. I've been saying it. This is my opinion. Now, with this, the U.S. Justice Department has now ended its investigation into this prediction platform Polymarket. We're seeing Kalshi, Polymarket, a lot of other prediction models really start to gain steam because people can bet on mainstream narratives and different world events, literally with crypto anywhere in the world. Things are getting real crazy. And these systems, Polymarket especially, really shook up the election. It made falsified polls very difficult to do because you're getting a lot of data from people that are betting with money on where their predictions are for the election, for someone winning a game. It's a very, very interesting time frame. Let's see here. Oh yeah, inverse finance. I know that we looked at that a while back. I'll take another look at it for you, Mr. Jason Casper. If I remember, inverse finance did not look too bad. It's an altcoin that you had brought up, I think, about a week ago. So we'll go in there and check that out as well. These charts are just absolutely enamoring right now. Where is Bitcoin at? We hit 117,000 the VWAP here. So we just bumped our head against the VWAP. We're going to see if Bitcoin has the violent upside juice to turn this VWAP into support. Okay, there's a lot of work to do in recapturing that upside, but honestly, things aren't looking too bad. The 5 minutes got that green dot printed. You got a clear upswing of money flow on Bitcoin from this dip that was created. Very, very interesting movements here right now. The charts are absolutely on fire, you guys. I'll turn this guy off. This is the 4-hour time frame. And now highlighted here is kind of where I'm going to be starting my engines back up if I can get it. This is a CME gap that exists on Bitcoin, where we know when Wall Street misses an opportunity to get in, if the Chicago Mercantile Exchange is closed and price just rips on through those orders while the CME is closed, this is what I'm watching out for those institutions to bring the boat back to those entry points and at least look for a strong dead cat bounce. But we might actually be getting that cat bounce out of this moment we just hit here. Things are getting hot and heavy on the charts. My God. And now more Ethereum news. We have Sharplink Gaming adding more Ethereum, 24,000 more Ethereum worth $73 million via your landing spot for institutions in this bull market, Coinbase. And Coinbase Prime, I've been saying it over and over again. When we saw the U.S. government was holding their seized crypto on Coinbase, when we see BlackRock holding 600,000 some odd Bitcoin on Coinbase, we see all of these Ethereum ETFs, for the vast majority of them being held on Coinbase. This season is base season in terms of alts. I think base is going to absolutely obliterate the competition. It's going to be disgusting. And really, all boats are going to rise with this tide, you guys. When we see this from Tech Dev, this is what happens when 4 years of altcoin compression releases. We are about to find out what it feels like when altcoins finally choose violence after 4 years of alt season suppression, complete Bitcoin dominance. Man, things are lining up for a very, very frothy end of the year here. And now something that, got me very, very excited for one of the altcoins that I hold heavily. Y'all know I've loved my Chainlink for a long time, and something interesting is happening from a state level. As part of Crypto Week, Chainlink is excited to launch Tokenized in America partnership with the Blockchain Association. Now, this is new industry resource tracking, and it goes in. You can click into tokenizedinamerica.com, tokenizedinamerica.com. Hey, you got Georgia here. So we got to check out our state report card. Let's hop on over here. So this is the landing page. When you get there, you get this state report card. You can click into the state, and then you can get all of the United States and kind of where they're at in terms of legislation and actual application of putting things like real estate, car notes, ownership on chain. Tokenizing trillions of dollars is coming to the world, and this is the budding beginning of that process here. So me, selfishly, I'm going to look at Georgia here, which is in the explorer mode. We have gray is the initiator, green is the accelerator. And now Wyoming is a key state to watch over the course of the next 5 years when it comes to blockchain adoption. We have Cynthia Lummis leading up the push for the Bitcoin Reserve Act, and also Wyoming working on their own personal stable coin. Very, very interesting. New York trying to be an accelerator, but Utah, Arizona, and Texas are leading the pack right now. Put a 1 in chat if you are from Texas, Arizona, or Utah, because your state is winning in the race to tokenize the world. And I think that when we have this all said and done, 10 years from now, every single one of these states is going to be in the orange. Every single one of these states is going to be tokenizing billions of dollars of value. Rob Goddard's down there, H-Bar Daniel, Bean, Y'all in Texas, you making it rain in the tokenized asset class here. Shout out to you for pushing forward for that, for letting your legislators know that the time is now to put this world of finance on chain, make it transparent. We got a lot of people in Texas, Papa Guth too. Good to see, man. And now tokenized assets, even on Solana, are starting to pick up. Tokenized assets on Solana have crossed $418 million. It's not a billion, it's not a trillion, but it's a start. It's a $500 million. Now it's risen by 140% year to date, according to Masari. So even within Solana's ecosystem, we're seeing the expansion of tokenized assets, and these assets are all getting ready for every single one of these states to turn dark orange. We're going to see real estate. We're going to see car notes. We're going to see a lot of different things that have tangible real world value being organized and collected and put on chain in a massive move. This is the wealth transfer of a generation, of a century. What we're about to see here with taking advantage of the design of crypto's ecosystem and blockchain tech to make AI work, but our economy work better at large, is going to be an investment opportunity of a lifetime. I feel that way in my heart of hearts. I'm so excited for what we're seeing. And now when we see some of the best alts that are connected to tokenized, treasuries, things of that nature, Ondo absolutely sitting at the top of my mind, and it is broken out of a descending triangle. It's from Ollie Charts, confirmed by a daily close above that 87-cent mark. So I do want to go check out what we're looking at in terms of Ondo. So I'll hop on over here. Ondo sitting pretty at 92 cents, baby. And now let's see if it's following ETH on shaking off the Bitcoin dump. It is indeed, folks. We are looking very, very frothy, very juicy on the altcoin side. Still in a heavy buy opportunity zone, honestly, if you're looking at it on the yearly and the all-time graph. This is just a series of higher lows being created. And once I see the alt sector release what's been kept inside for so long, and we see these start to move up out of this ascending triangle formation for altcoins in general, I'm of the opinion that the Ondo graph is going to look much, much different than where it is right now. So I'm very, very excited about that. Now, there is a lot of things that we've noticed, taking a, kind of a note of when we're at Bitcoin Vegas, is that DeFi and stable coins are really taking the limelight for the time being, but we also have the sector of AI, artificial intelligence, that I think is going to be very, very cyclical, right? We're going to have massive upswings and downswings on AI. The constant growth and really the parabola that we've seen is stable coins and RWA DeFi type plays. I see something happening on Avalanche that makes me very, very intrigued here. We have Avalanche posting about this in response to Alex Becker bringing up black hole decks. Black hole decks, I've seen a lot of real smart people, not just Alex Becker. I've seen a lot of real smart people around me talking about this black token. I don't think that it has been released yet. So let's go check it out. This is blackhole.xyz. So they got verified on Dex Screener, 24 hours until black. So I think the token generation event is about 9 hours away. So we're 9 hours away from this token generation event. So here it is. Now this is the time zone layout. So it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, July 15th. Now this is a DEX rollout within Avalanche. The ecosystem for Avalanche I've felt has been very, very strong. I am absolutely going to get this notifications on for this. I am not discounting Avalanche. I saw it in the chat. A couple people are discouraged about Avalanche. Really, I think Avalanche is one of the more connected projects out there. Is Mamo sending even more? Let's go check out Mamo, the DeFi agent we covered before it even went live. And oh my God, it is up 40% right now. It is up 43% right now. Absolutely ridiculous. Ooh, wow. This is absolutely crazy. So this is the all-time graph for Mamo, the AI agent that does your DeFi on Base. super obscure pick we picked up on from Luke Youngblood before this thing even came out. You heard about it before it even hit the charts at 1.3 cents. It is at 16 cents right now. Absolutely printing. Congratulations to all the Mamo holders out there, all the people that believe in what we've been seeing with it being base season. DeFi and stablecoin super cycle, Bitcoin to 200K plus is absolutely on the table for us right now. And these altcoins are ripping right now. This is so cool to see, you guys. So cool to see. Let's check back in and see if we get our entry point on our Bitcoin trade. So we still got some room to go. I mean, honestly, we could just be starting the generalized upswing to the up and right now. I'm being real careful, though, about this trade because we are right above the CME gap as things sit right now. Ethereum seems to have more systems go. Holy cow. More systems are a go on Ethereum here. This is so exciting. I love days like this where the markets are just pumping. Now, another basement pick that we've had has been going absolutely ballistic. And we will have to cover this because it got re-highlighted by the behemoth exchange Coinbase yesterday. The 3 Comma Club just got a new member. Bitcoin-backed loans crossed $1 billion in collateral on literally Coinbase itself. Powered by none other than, drumroll please, Morpho, rather. All these M base plays. Morpho has been highlighted, and now they've crossed $1 billion in loans just on Coinbase themselves. Morpho absolutely ripping. Let's go check out to see if Morpho is going to try and take out that $2 level that it hit just a day ago. We are at $1.90 right now. We are absolutely zooming on Morpho. The TVL is exploding. The use case is exploding. Morpho is up 35% on just the month. But if you bought with me and you backed up the truck at 87 cents, as I gave the signal for, you are sitting more than pretty right now. Whew. This is crazy. This is crazy. I love days like this. It's kind of interesting to see this too. A little bit of cohesion in the altcoin side. Charles Hoskinson of Cardano praises XLM and HBAR for weathering the storms from recent years and continuing to grow. I felt like this comment came out from Charles Hoskinson right as ISO standards went live for the Federal Reserve and their new FedNow system yesterday. So, and it was a good highlight by the community member. They remind me the ISO messaging standard 20022 to change the way that banks talk to each other. It's not a guaranteed integration of crypto, but this kind of conversation upgrade to the Federal Reserve is something that ISO tokens have been building themselves into and making sure that they're positioned into for when that time comes. Well, that time came yesterday and they are absolutely ripping. I do want to go check out Crypto Bubbles to see what these projects are looking at on the year as well, because I think that matters a lot when we're looking at these things on the yearly time frame, keeping in mind who is down, who is up big. So XLM is up 335% on the year. XRP 450%. SWI, SPX, Soros, XDCs. Notice a lot of ISO tokens, Algo, XDC, XLM, and XRP are finally getting a little bit of love because the regulatory clarity is out. And right as we have the regulatory clarity, of course, the idiocy of Pump Fund could not stop. We had Pump Fund launched yesterday. Absolutely insane. You cannot make this up. According to Guardian, Pump Fund only added $5 million in liquidity for $1 billion token valuation. They raised $800 million in US dollars and put only $2.5 million in Solana. These jokes write themselves. Here's Ransom. Razmir. Thanks for the airdrop. And he's down 3 million. I'm sure that this is just a clickbait highlight, but a lot of people are pissed off. We have the Wolf of Crypto Streets. Launch is a complete joke and disaster for Pump token. No airdrop was given. Liquidity provided by Wintermute. Oh, what could go wrong? A cabal known for failed and rugged big launches. ICO buyers early buyers are in huge losses. You expected better from the crowd of pump fun. First mistake. Pump is not fun. We'll see if it rebounds, but as things sit right now, not the greatest look, not the best release I've ever seen. I expected a lot more out of I expected people to give their projects more time to breathe and not rug them immediately. What I found is that's not the case. The human experiment that was Pump.Fun showed us that it is very, very person versus person. People are knife fighting behind the strip mall bar in the back alley, trying to get those 30-minute gains. They'll rug a project in the blink of an eye just to get those small gains in the trenches. The State of the Union address from the trenches is that the trenches appear dead. So with that being said, take your caution there. Now, I had a great comment, great supporter of the channel here, Drew and Isaac. Velodrome underperforming swell as well. Can you look at those tomorrow? So we're going to go hop on over to Velodrome. My wife, I know, holds a little bit of Velodrome, and she is not happy with me bringing it up as something to look at because we are down, folks. We are down on this. I can't even remember. I think we got it at like this shelf. We were expecting this shelf to hold at around 80 cents. This thing's at 55 cents, down big from that time frame. Thank God it was a small attempt, but it is really, there is no denying it has been underperforming. Velodrome, the volume is down over the last 24 hours by 19%, and the price flatlining, not a great look. I mean, I know this is a sister company to Aerodrome. I really like the origination and kind of the foundation of what Velodrome was built up from. A lot of that limelight has been shifted over to Aerodrome so far, but I do think that Velo will have its moment in the sun where it can break out and hit, kind of these intermediary highs at around 14 cents right now at, a very, very conservative target. I think as we see ETH starting to take control of the conversation, if we can see this Bitcoin dominance fall as heavily as I do expect it to go, then, Velodrome surpasses previous highs and goes into new modes of price exploration. This has been around since 2022. It is down, but as we've seen with ISO token, just because they're down doesn't mean they're out. And really, you can go as hard as you can and do as much research as you can as possible, but you're still going to run into some altcoins being losers. Velodrome, I think it'll have its moment, but when that moment comes, for the love of God, take your profits, because I think this is one of those ones that's going to have those exciting few months time frames where people that got in low are feeling great and then just completely return back to these bear market levels. Jason Casper's chicken thinking that too for 15 cents in the next few weeks is what he's feeling. I wouldn't be surprised by it. I mean, this intermediary high, it's honestly not too far away. And if we can see this dominance continue to fall, if we keep seeing Ethereum putting up these big W's, even with Bitcoin pulling back just a touch, I think that that's something that we're going to be seeing. Your blockchain basement, you don't even talk about anything that's defined as a blockchain. We talk about mining all stuff all the time. Are you referring to Caspa? Let's go look at Caspa for you. I understand Caspa. You know what's cringe is when I hear the word trilemma. We're fixing the trilemma. I stay bullish on Caspa because it's proof of work and it's got a nice expanded ecosystem. But for fuck's sakes, we got to stop with the whole. We're gonna fix the trilemma. Just be specific about what you're gonna fix. Caspa, let's go look at it. So down 50% on the year, down 1%. Let's see here, 13%. Oh, we got a Utah Relogic down in Utah. Okay, shout out to you. Yeah, baby. Mammo printing for diesel. Shout out to you, baby. Let's see here. So Caspa, it's hard to tell if this is going to hold. Let's go to the larger graph here. We're at 8.5 cents right now. It did pop real nicely off this. Okay, so this actually looks damn good. So now that I'm looking at this more closely, Caspa came down to kind of its original pump 2 moment at that 5 cent realm, popped nicely off of it. Probably a good amount of room to run for Caspa. You know, if I can see a generalized alt season, then Caspa's breaking these highs. Caspa can break those 20-cent highs. If we have a generalized bull market, I'll absolutely say that. Caspa's been an interesting one. It's, you know, it was very, very profitable to mine when these were the levels, right? We're mining it at these extremely low levels. As hash power goes up, competition goes up, you get less reward. So we got what we got in Caspa. We still got the miner running downstairs. Makes me sweat as I work out. But you know what? If we can have a generalized bull market, I think this all-time high will get taken out by Caspa. I do feel that way. That's what I feel like. The real trilemma is a balance between 4x4s, guns, and crypto. Fair assessment. Fair assessment. UK is going south fast. Condolences, brother. Oh shit, what's going on in the UK here? Hold on. Where is the UK? I want to see what's going on with my peeps. Oh, communist UK. I mean, clearly the UK is communist. You know what though? We have control of our speech here on YouTube in America too. Like, you know, it's come back. We had this season where I was like, oh shit, we can actually say like rough stuff and not get censored. That season's gone. That season's gone. Let's go check out Swell for my man right now as well. I like this dude. I like when he tags me and just asks me a question like this. Gives me some reminders to cover old school projects here. So let's go check out Swell. See how swell we're doing today. We're up. Are we up on the day? 0.9% on the day. 32% on the week. Okay. Trying to come back. 39 on the month. 99 overall. Holy God. Jesus. See, if I bought one man's pain, it would end up being pleasure. But I mean, where's that major sell going to happen for old school holders? I think 3 cents is going to be a jerk to get over, but that would give us a 3x. Generalized alt season return. I think we could get a conservative 3x. You're going to have a lot of old school sellers though. People that bought back here in the 4 or 5 cent range, they're going to be selling hard at that 3 cent level. So watch it out for that. That's just my general idea of what I see on the chart for Swell. I know it's part of the base network. You know, it has interesting things about it. I remember it was like a DeFi play. So let's go here. Proof of restaking chain, Open Ocean. Let's go through their ecosystem here. And I think this is hurting them a little bit of unknowns in terms of the featured buy. Let's see here. Services, Chainlink, Redstone, their own Unity here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that like jumps off the page like, God, I need to get back into this. I was in on it. I was in on this project. Up here at these low, I think I got out at like 3 cents or something like that. When I saw the alt season, delay, we saw a lot of our metrics turn red. So I had to kind of conserve the capital that I had. And boy, howdy, that was a big pullback. Things are chaos. This is why alts are not easy, right? And buying low is a must when it comes to altcoins, man, because these things are so volatile. We have BitTensor Tau now in the mid $400 range. Holy God. Absolutely crazy. Breaking out of that kind of buy zone range that I've always talked about, $250 to $300. You're getting a steal for Tau. That is the case. It's shown here pretty clearly. And that range is pretty well defined right here in the zip doodahs. This is the trade war that got us lower than expected, but Tau bounced really nicely off $300. Very, very good looking chart. And SWE is up $4. Holy God, SWE has broken the $4 mark once again. Shout out, Keston. You're printing money. This is a great time. When we see Ethereum start to catch its stride, when we see Wall Street realize, wait a minute, I can stake this Ethereum and earn yield on it. The larger expansion of crypto and DeFi is literally hitting FOMO levels for Wall Street. We just haven't seen it really kick in yet. Once those staked ETFs for Ethereum get approved, I think that's the nitrous oxide that we need in our gas tank to see that Bitcoin dominance pull back strongly. Bitcoin is on its path, man. Bitcoin's on its path to $200,000. I think if, all systems remain a go, Bitcoin hits that $200,000 level, and we see the Bitcoin dominance fall near that 50% line and absolute chaos breakout. But yeah, I'm essentially feeling 200K is kind of my generalized target. I'm having to feel a little bit more bullish after I'm seeing the structure of this market. I'm seeing how fast we overshot the $120,000 mark on Bitcoin. And now we're finding that foot in here. In the short term, if you are trading, be very, very careful. Use stop losses for the love of God. This market can absolutely peel back down to this previous shelf here at 109, 107 with ease. But in general, this is what I'm seeing. We're trying to prove this spot as support. This is looking juicy. This is looking juicy. What TA do I have? Let's talk about the TA. I got some time. So let's talk about it. Let's bring this down. I'm going to go to the weekly here, and then we're going to look at cycle over cycle in aggregate. Just start from the beginning, because Piano Matty B is coming out this huge prediction. There's a lot of FOMO going on. Let's just fib out each market. So this is Bitcoin's price on Bitstamp. We are going all the way back to 2013. We are going to pull a fib, high to low 2013. Bam, right here to give us this general map. Now, as you can see, stumble point at previous all-time highs, which at the time was $1,000. We stumble at the all-time highs. After we dig ourselves out of that mid-bear market, we fumble around, grope around here at the all-time highs. Then we punch up violently through the blue zone into the red zone. We chop in the red zone, and then we zip. Hit a lot of chop in the full extension at the 4.236, but then went into ridiculous price exploration because the market cap was so much smaller than it is now. Now we fast forward to the 2017 bull market, and this is how this one went high to low. Map it out. So we have our stumble point as usual at previous all-time highs here, as you can see. A very violent and straight through the blue zone, as we just saw with the last Fibonacci sequence. And we performed to the top of price expectations for this fib extension in the 4236 zone at $69,000. Now, this was when Bitcoin hit that $1.3 trillion market cap. Things got real great for altcoins in the intermediary, but now we're on to our current situation, and something very, very structurally different from this bull market to this bull market has taken place. Is right in this zone. See if I can draw here. Well, right in this January 2024 zone, 23, we had ETFs approved. Okay, so that conversation from BlackRock started up. ETFs were approved from high to low, 69 down to 15. This is that ball sack bottoming pattern that we all remember so well. But if the Bitcoin ETFs got approved here, and we toiled and coiled at the previous all-time highs, heavier and harder than we ever have. Now, at the front end of this blue zone, we zipped right on through, but then Trump came out and sent some mean tweets to China about a trade war. So we pulled back by 30%, and now we have broken out of the blue zone, headed into the red zone. Expect extreme chop within this red zone, but the top end, in my opinion, is absolutely attainable. To perform to the top end of this fib extension is absolutely attainable for us right now, because we have regulatory clarity, because we have billions and billions of dollars being bought every single week by BlackRock investors, by people at the top of the food chain. They see the M2 money supplies going parabolic. They see that we have two more spending bills, trillions of dollars of more spending. We have the outlook of Federal Reserve interest rate cuts. We have a three-headed hydra, all happening of bullishness in this current zone. I think that accomplishing the 3.618 to 4.236 zone in this cycle is now much more probable than I thought it was previously. When we were in the toils of this trade war, all these things being reset, I was like, I got to be careful. But now the reason to print has never been stronger. It's actually, we're getting ready to print even more money in our current spending packages than we did in COVID that caused this massive, massive run up right here. So there's a lot of reason for why I feel like this 200K plus zone is now much more tangible in my heart of hearts. Still keeping an open mind for the mid zone of this purple, but with all of these things, the spending bills coming out, we have interest rate cuts coming out. We have so many reasons to see bullish outlook for Bitcoin right now. I think it's going to be looking really, really good. 11, appreciate you guys. Good job on stacking Bitcoin before we hit levels of price exploration like we're knocking on the door of right now. And honestly, we're just in a day or two ago. So stay ready. There's going to be lots of volatility, $10,000, $20,000 daily price swings on Bitcoin in this zone, and more is coming ahead. Things are about to get crazy. So stay locked in. I love and appreciate every single one of you out there in the Blockchain Basement family. And with that being said, I'm going to go hit the gym and come back at you with more information about this market and everything that happened overnight tomorrow in the morning.